You're watching 4th and Goal on Fox 40.
Yeah, the Waverly Wolverines entered Week 6 ranked 20th in the state in Class C, and while the Greene Trojans aren't quite as strong as they've been in years past, they've shown a lot of fire as of late. Sounds like a good matchup for our Game of the Week. Game of the Week is brought to you by Vision Shoreline, Coach USA, BC Stop, DWI, Moravido, Mayhoods, and Matthews. It's senior night in Greene. 11 Trojans playing their final home game of their high school careers. But things not going well for the Trojans early on. First play from scrimmage, Peyton Miller calling his own number. That's number 1. He's finding number 76. No, I'm just kidding. Matching all the way down the field, 76 yards for the score, 139 on the ground, 2 scores, but right now it is 6-0. But wait, the Trojans answering back, ensuing kickoff. Sean Brigham finding an opening in the middle of the field and finally brought down inside enemy territory, breaking tackles. The drive keeps on going, and Brigham, the big guy, finishing it off 6 yards on the right side, and the kick is good. So Greene with a 1-point lead after 1 as the truck was starting there. But in the second, Wolverines thinking things over and getting all on the same page. Whatever they said, it seemed to have worked. Miller rolling out right, not the tightest spiral, but it does have to be when it is into the wave of the defense in the hands of Alex Volpe. So Miller now looking to the ground, flips it to Joe Peters, and Peters picking up the first down right here. And that's good news for Waverly because Miller can throw it like another type of famous Peyton. He finds Volpe for the score. He had 129 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. The Wolverines just edge out the Trojans 27-21. Jeremy is standing by with a special guest to break it all down. Jeremy?
Thanks, Donnie. I'm now joined by the voice of Section 4 football, Roger Neal. And Roger, that Waverly Greene game, probably a little closer than some people thought it would be.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, you've got 2 teams with totally different outlooks. You've got Greene that gives up a lot of points. Waverly puts up a ton of points. And when those 2 teams combine, usually the team that gives up a lot is in for some trouble. But in this game, it was a very close call.
And now, what can you say about the play of Peyton Miller? He's probably one of, if not the best quarterback in Section 4, and his numbers that he's putting up, pretty impressive.
Yes, they are, and he's an excellent ball player, a lot of skill. They've been blessed with some very good quarterbacks over the years, and he's a real good one. But I think the big thing with him is he doesn't make many mistakes. And you can go a long way with a quarterback like that, but the skill level he has combined with that kind of knowledge and the steady type play, it means a lot of trouble for opponents like we saw in that game against Greene.
And now, how big of a threat is a quarterback like that that can not only throw for 194 yards, but can carry the ball 15 times for just about the same amount of yards?
Well, I think it's huge, and I think that kind of a weapon, you really have an extra running back. And so when you have a quarterback who can throw, you look around the Section 4, there aren't a whole lot of teams that have really good throwing quarterbacks. But when you have a quarterback like that who can run the ball also, then you've got really a double threat. So you really are able to add a running back on every play.
Now, Waverly, of course, lost to Shenango Forks in the section finals last year. At least now both teams are atop their division. Looks like it could be a rematch. What do you think Waverly has going for it this year that this might possibly be the year that they could get past the Blue Devils?
Well, again, I think you're talking about the play of the quarterback. He's excellent, and a kid like that can take you a long way, especially if he gets hot, if he can put the ball up on him successfully. Of course, the tough thing is, Forks' defense is awfully good. So I guess I'm one of those kind of guys that says I'm going to have to see that to believe it because Forks is so dominant.
Now, speaking of Forks, as long as we have you here, you were in the booth for that Emmy Forks game. What a game that was. Your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I think it was tremendous. And I think really when you break it down, the depth of Maine Anwell continues to pay off. They had, the injury to Trent Story, and they keep bringing kids in, and when they bring them in, they keep playing well. So they've got a lot of depth. That's part of it. I think the other part is the defense. The defense made some very key plays to keep Forks off the board and stop drives on 4th down situations. So, we talk about the offense. A big game from Balmer, the quarterback, who played extremely well. Michael Palmer, 3 touchdown receptions. But again, that defense, that's what carries you once you get into the playoffs and on into the states.
And now everybody has been talking about that game for the previous 5 weeks. We've certainly covered those 2 teams plenty of times here on this show and throughout the week. Do you think that game lived up to the hype?
I do. And I really think that just the whole atmosphere was so tremendous. Just the programs are so successful over the course of years. Obviously it was a big stage, an estimated 9,000 people there. But I think that it did live up to the hype. And again, I think with Maine Anwell having the home field advantage, that in the end paid off for them. You meet them 5 times somebody will win 3 and the other will be 2. That's that close of a rivalry.
All right, Roger, thank you very much. Of course, we wish the best of luck to Waverly, Greene, and of course the Spartans and the Blue Devils going forward in the season. We'll be back with more 4th and Goal right after this.